there's ways to, plan something where we could actually, act and do. So, kind of skip through some of this and just, really talk about what we all came here to talk about. So I do have a cool little clicker here, but the little piece is missing. So of course, right? So I'm gonna have to, just skip through here. But so you guys kind of understand somewhat about our governing under the influence program. We're asking presidential candidates questions on the influence of corporate money and corporate dollars and everything. So I guess what kind of made you interested in wanting to ask candidates questions? Is there any kind of particular? I know you're working on like energy and agriculture stuff. Or have you guys talked to candidates before at all?
I'm too busy live streaming.
It's all right.
I actually haven't had an opportunity to yet, so yeah, no, I haven't. That's why I wanted to come here.
Cool. Well, so we're governing our government. Is really under the influence from campaign donations, special interests, and lobbyists. And what we're focused on is Pentagon contractors and private prisons and immigration and detention centers, but also money and politics as a whole. And it's just we're doing things nobody else is doing really in Iowa, as far as I'm aware of. Asking candidates questions and everything in the same way that we're doing it. So yeah, tonight I'll just kind of overview of what our GUI program's about and everything. We're changing the conversation, exposing corporate money and power and influence in Iowa and New Hampshire. Talked a little bit about the issues that we're focused on, and we're not just focused on the problems, but really focusing on the solution too, and really making it aware at the public level. So I don't know. I feel like do you guys kind of understand the kind of the concepts of the corporate campaign donations and lobbying and the influence? So I guess since it's just kind of us here, I don't know if I want to focus as much on explaining the details and all that, but just for the sake of it, I'll kind of run through things. So here it's a good example of how these big contractors get their influence. So we'll start, for example, large military corporations like Lockheed Martin and Northrop Grumman, Boeing, these monstrosities. They give millions of dollars every single year to members of Congress to influence them and their decision making, so that they will pass bills for them, or they will include them in contracts. So the campaign contributions, they go to Congress, and then the Congress, then they want to pass bills in these contracts, which are tax funded, into the Department of Defense bills, like the spending bills, every year, how much they spend, and then the Department of Defense, they give it to them, and then it's a self-fulfilling prophecy there. And our money is just shoveled into it, and we don't have as much of an influence in that. And so what they do is they make more weapons, more money. The simplest terms. And there's like 3,000 or 4,000 abandoned airplanes and tanks in a place in Arizona that they're not being used anymore, because they're making more weapons and they're making more super advanced fighter jet pilot, which they cost a ton of money, like the F-35.
It's
already cost $400
that's a money pit of a plane.
Yeah, it doesn't fly, it doesn't shoot, it's not safe.
Yeah, Canada didn't want it.
Yeah, after 20 years, there's a lot of other company, or a lot of other ways we could have, spent all that money. And that's obviously. So these were some of the other corporations here.
Yeah, Rockwell Collins is another one.
Right, yeah, I mean, that's the big one, they're out in Cedar Rapids.
Yep.
They employ, I think, like 10,000 people.
Yep.
That might be right, but, so we're focusing on the corporate, campaign donation and the lobbying aspect and how much, you know, they get from that. You know, you gotta pay to play. So the top 5, you know, I just took, you know, exactly from this right there. The top 5, defense contractors, they spent $40, dollars, 14 million, she's 14 million, she's 14 million, she's 14 million, she's 14 million, and they got $142 billion in return. Like, that's an incredible investment. That's like more than, you know, 10 times, I don't even know how many
It's a
times.
lot.
It's a lot more,
Yeah.
yeah. And so more weapons, more profit. So,
Yeah.
in the private prison industry, it's really like a hotel. They just, they're influencing our politicians to fill more beds, to make more prisons, to create harsher laws, mandatory minimums and all that. And we only have 5% of the world's population, but we have 25% of the world's prisoners. And these two, CCA and Geo Group, they made $3.3 billion 2 years ago. They're the biggest players in the game. And this is just another example of how, you know, that self-fulfilling prophecy. As you can see, the prisoners, they just, you know, they just keep cycling back in and out, and so they make more. The prisons make more money, and then they can throw more money, you know, through lobbying, get tough on crime, make harsher sentencing, so they pressure politicians to pass these laws and implement them, and so there's just more people going in and out, and you know, more profits are being made from it.
And then you had the police framing innocent people, getting them into the system.
Right, and that's a whole nother issue too.
Yeah, that's a whole other animal.
Yeah. So this is just a few examples, or you know, just to show you the guys, the logos. These are the top 3 biggest private prisons, and you know, they spent $45 million in a 10-year period on passing laws or influencing Congress or state representatives, even like county sheriffs. Like,
Yep.
they feed money to county sheriffs, like putting money in their pocket. Like Geo Group, they've given money to like 400 different candidates around the country. Like, they just got their pockets, you know, they're filling deep pockets everywhere, and you know, that's not right. We're also looking at you know, who's profiting from the war at the border. The border security, and also detention centers, who a lot of them are run by private prisons, and they're just cutting lots of costs to make more profit. So immigration is like the highest offense rate, or the highest prosecuted rate at the federal court level, and there's a bed mandate for 34,000 immigrants every single day, and the majority of those are in private prisons. So we're just sending more people to get locked up, and you know, healthcare is really bad. They don't feed people. It's a bad system all around. So what we're doing, we're right here, the dot in there, and we're asking questions everywhere across the state. We're building relationships with a lot of different people. I was just in Davenport last week, just in Iowa City, and talking with college students and at rallies and everything. And so we're, you know, like I just said, there's 30 candidates coming, and they're spread all out over Iowa. So the more people we get involved in the political process, the more opportunity we really have to lift our message and to really make change happen, which is, it's kind of a cool thing. So I'll just go over some examples here of like who we've talked to. We talked to Hillary Clinton, got a 16-year-old to ask her a question about the detention bed mandate of 34,000 people.
Ooh.
Which, yeah, like...
Oh, to be a fly on the wall for that.
Yeah, so there's a lot of people making money from that. And she's totally shocked by it. And she said, whoa, well, I'll get back to you on that. So next time that she's in Iowa, we'll have her ask that question. And we're asking questions to everybody, you know, regardless of if they're Democrats or Republicans or whatever, because that's, everybody needs to hear about this. You know, I talked to Rand Paul in October too about militarization of police. So that was kind of cool. Most recently, yeah, we talked to Rick Perry about governing under the influence because he's on the board of director of this energy oil fracking company. And we talked to Marco Rubio too. We asked him 3 questions actually. Josh asked him the profits from government contracts. They should use that to lobby for more contracts. And then we asked him about private prison industry because he received like $100,000 from the private prisons. So we're getting our name out there, and yeah. So me and Nathan, we were in the Des Moines Register, so that was pretty cool. And yeah, that's a great picture, by the way. Yeah. And the Huffington Post too, about getting kicked out, not being allowed in. And also, last week we were in the Boston Globe for doing these they're doing a lecture, and yeah, there. There's publicity, good publicity, good publicity, good publicity, good publicity, good publicity, and it was really cool and really a good way to get our name out there, and really like younger people are getting involved in this. And I got a reporter who did an interview with me at the University of Iowa on campus on Thursday. And as soon as we do another bird dog training there, she's going to be there and like reporting on it. And so I mean, it's a pretty cool thing. And I was just gonna show you guys our website too, just kind of how that works. So this is that's our website, gui.afac.org. We've got blogs, bird dog reports, our interactions with candidates. Here's an example of one. So we ask, we do these trainings, we get people ready, they're asking questions, they record it with their phones, they post it to our site. And then we spread the message out too, and people from across the country are getting really interested in it. And this was our last one, Eric. He asked Donald Trump a question, and it was on TV too.
Ha!
Donald Trump was making like 3 stops on Wednesday, I think. And then we also have our candidate calendar, which I know you can't see it, but because there's so many, it's kind of crazy. But everybody's coming, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So there's a whole lot going on here, and I just kind of typed it out just so you can kind of see how many candidates and then how many appearances they're making, and that's really what we're doing. We're spreading out, we're spreading the message, and asking questions. So it's kind of a quick overview on what we're doing, and yeah, we'd love to have you guys out and. Or help other people ask questions too. We're going to be doing these bird dog trainings all over state. We're going to be doing them with, or Josh has already done them with some climate change people.
Yeah, I did one here in Des Moines, one in Iowa City, Council Bluffs as well.
Yeah, and yeah, we're going to be connecting with other people, and yeah, people need to know how to ask questions the right way and change the conversation. That's really what I got for this part of it, and yeah. So you guys got any questions?
Yeah, I guess the best part would be, since it's hard to do something more interactive, what questions do you guys have to either myself or Kevin,
or
both
ways
of us?
that we can get our message out there better, or anything.
So are you trying to work with students then?
Yeah.
In like a more deliberate way? There's just a student power convergence happening at the end of April.
We were just talking about that.
You were?
Yeah.
Yeah, before you came in, they were talking about it, and
Yeah, Evan asked us to do a
Okay,
training
good.
there,
Then
too.
he did. I talked with him. I wasn't sure if he had actually reached out yet.
Really?
Well, that's going to be a good place for that.
Yeah, you going?
yeah, I don't think I can pass myself off as a student, but I'd like to go at least live stream some of it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really have any questions. I think. So do you try to go to all of these, or do you pick ones that are most highly populated?
As many as possible. Some of them are a bit more difficult just because they're fundraisers and because of our tax status, we're not allowed to pay for them, and also we don't really want to contribute to some of them.
Yeah.
But we do try and do visibility with these banners outside or something like that. And then others, we try and go to really any that is around. Focus primarily right now in Des Moines, just because this lift, and we're trying to build our infrastructure out across the entire state. But I know Kevin traversed 3 whole hours to go fight with Rick Perry.
I didn't fight with them. Stood my ground for that.
Well, you know, with them, that homeschool day at the Capitol, I think that would be the perfect opportunity because it's such an open thing, and homeschoolers will be bringing their children. So that would be the perfect opportunity to, you know, just to kind of check them out, you know, size them up, see if you can get some goods on them.
Yeah, that's good. And the only thing with that is most of the candidates besides Rick Perry, that afternoon they're going to be in the airport Holiday Inn at like 1:30 or 2 o'clock, and then that's a pay $10 like to get in. And I think they do lunch there too. Mike Huckabee is there at 11 o'clock doing something with a reality TV. Some like 19.
The 19 kids in counting.
Yeah,
People.
from Arkansas. Yeah.
Yeah, but you can still plant that thing out there.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm also kind of wondering, like, I know members at CCI would get fired up about doing this kind of thing, but I'd want to work with you all, and I don't know which events are like the best to go to, or like which would be, in terms of Rick Perry at least, like
Sure.
the best opportunity to actually catch him and
yeah.
get some media coverage.
In my experience, it's been the actions when outside, even like updating. You know, someone to ask like this, you know, a serious or educated question, or on, you know, to stand out and have our voices heard. Whereas when obviously, you know, when there's 9 candidates and there's 260 news stations or whatever, like it's a little bit harder to get in. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Smaller events are definitely good, and
Which is something we talk about, and then, you know, if you go to these bigger events, then like CCI does, go with a bunch of people, or multiple people, so that you increase the odds of actually getting to talk to somebody, because,
especially being able to get it on
yeah.
audio or on video too.
Yeah.
'Cause
And-
these large events with 300 people, there's no guarantee that anyone's even going to see you.
And as long as I can get to it in the Des Moines area, you know, if I can either bum ride or hop the bus, you know, I'm on it. And now that I got something a little extra that might help me out, have myself a press pass made.
Oh,
Well,
nice.
that's smart. I mean, that's how I got in.
Yeah. That's how you
Yeah,
got kicked out
excellent.
too.
Well, I didn't attempt to go in because I didn't have a ticket, but I don't know if press had to have tickets or if they could just show their badge and try to get in or what. But, you know,
There's also another big one on Saturday, April 25th.
yeah, I just saw that on Facebook.
Candidates are there.
And
Yeah,
Waukee, the
Waukee.
Faith and Freedom.
And that's free to get into too, and it's from like 4 to 9. Yeah, so.
Yeah, see, that's the one I posted about that I would need a bum ride if I wanted to hit on that.
But yeah, a lot of opportunities, so it's pretty cool.
I mean, that would be a great event to live stream it, you know.
Cool.
So I guess, Nathan, what's the best way we could like interact with you guys at CCI or kind of collaborate and work together? Because you guys definitely have a bigger
Yeah.
infrastructure in terms of like political advocacy and stuff that you do.
We're just kind of starting
Yeah.
fresh.
Yeah, I mean, it has to. I guess, is it just like. I don't know how to frame this question. Like, to what extent do you bring other people with you when you go, or is it just like you guys. Or, like, I don't know, how far in advance do you set up, like, these events or, like, get folks to come in or go with you?
I mean, since we're kind of fresh and kind of new to this too, just as things come up, we're trying to get more people to attend, these sort of trainings, which obviously there's not as many people here, but because then they're all ready and they're all good to go because strategies and how to ask. But yeah, I mean we're all open and willing
Right.
to talk and meet with people or plan something in advance because even different other organizations or different kind of people coming in, say, with, we're gonna be doing some things with, some of the Dreamers,
Yeah.
and say they ask about, do you support DAPA or DACA? Okay, then we could follow up a question after that or something, depending on how they, if they answer it or if they don't answer it, or, are you gonna send them all to private prisons and detention centers where
Yeah.
they are, da-da-da? Yeah, and, there's ways to, work with each other too, and so, we're open and exploring and willing, yeah.
Yeah, we're definitely open for feedback or
Okay.
collaboration or really.
Cool. Well, I think I'm like interested in trying to find one of the Rick Perry events that'll be big in the next few weeks, and I know get a handful of members there for sure. So we should just pick one. I think
Yeah.
Alright.
I already have the ticket for the energy and water thing, but I don't know if that'll necessarily be best because it's too late at this point for anyone else to get tickets. So if there's a more open one,
Yeah, and then, with that one, like, there's 3 candidates there too, so,
yeah,
then it does take some more planning if you're trying to ask questions, or we're trying to ask questions, or somebody gets asked to leave or whatever, and then, things get changed, yeah. Or ask them as they're walking in or leaving.
Which is something we try and do at these kind of multi-candidate events.
Yeah.
Just grab people as they're
Right.
walking in or out as opposed to.
All you gotta do is read in for a handshake, and then, oh yeah, by the way, and then, then they're on the spot.
Yeah. Perhaps, people who don't know how to shoot video or live stream on their phones, perhaps maybe they might want to learn how to do that so they can record it.
Yeah, there's a lot of older people.
If people,
That's
if you can document it, and then, get that video out there on the internet so that those candidates will be forced to eat their words later.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something, I like this, we're just kind of going over all the prototype stuff right now, but that's something we kind of try and push is people filming it or recording it on their phone
Yeah.
or going with a friend, especially.
Yeah,
film and record it.
Right now, I'm the only streamer currently active in Des Moines.
yeah.
And I don't know if anyone else is even streaming anywhere in Iowa. I haven't seen any. Other than the Decorah Eagles, but they don't count.
Right.
They're too busy raising chicks.
Was
Maybe
the
do you
second
think-
one's hatched?
3.
Second or 3 are hatched?
Yeah. I think
3.
so. Do you think like CCI would be interested in like co-hosting prototype training with us? Or?
I don't know. I have to. I mean, it like overlaps with our different issue areas in like a lot of
Sure.
ways. I just have to talk to their staff. I don't see why not. I think it's a good idea.
Because then that would be great, because like I said, you guys have been doing this a long.
It also might be a timing issue.
Yeah. Yeah. What are you thinking?
Whenever works, really.
Whatever. Okay.
We're pretty open.
Yeah. We're pretty flexible.
Well, I'll pose the idea tomorrow. I can send out an email, and then maybe if you all had, the both of you had specific dates in mind, or just like
Okay, we can crunch
Yeah.
them later.
Yeah, just-
Tomorrow. Crunch them.
just general idea, something that we can work with.
It is cool
Because,
because we connect with a lot of different people working on a lot of different issues, and it's just a matter of connecting the dots and then
Yeah.
getting things into play.
Yeah, for instance, the Back and Pipeline Coalition that's fighting it, more groups are signing on to that. CCI, Occupy the World Food Prize, is signed on to that. So we are part of that, try to stop the Back and Pipeline.
Yeah, we're a co-sponsor with the thing on Earth Day down at the Capitol People's Park, I think.
Is the rally actually happening then? I haven't heard.
As far as I know, I've
Yeah,
been talking to
but
David Goodman.
yeah, I haven't heard anything.
Okay. I don't know if that's happening.
Yeah, I haven't
yeah,
seen
the
it.
Physicians for Social Responsibility just joined us, which is cool.
Yeah, and the fact that this coalition is growing, I think it's something that could be included as far as candidates because of, they're going to have to answer to the people in Iowa, and now that we're exposing the Back and Pipeline and the fact that Iowa Utilities Board may have been stacked.
That's actually what Kevin was talking to Rick Perry about when I was just
Yeah, so, got to include that because that is what's going on. And the World Food Prize has teamed up with some others to host an event recently. Of course, that's all stacked against anyone who doesn't like GMOs.
You all aren't in the would you be interested in joining the coalition, or just like I don't know, having your name attached to it, or is that not?
That would be a
something-
decision made above us.
Yeah.
We'd have to go and talk to our boss about
Yeah,
it.
we'd have to just follow up about it, but I mean, we,
Certainly
you know,
interested.
definitely, yeah, interested in support, you know, what you guys are doing.
After all, it is, you know, it's a cross-state company that wants to, you know, put Iowa land and aquifers at risk.
And it's a money and politics issue. It's a
Yeah.
Yeah.
governing under the influence issue.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any like bird dogs to the questions, Nathan? I know you guys do it a lot at CCI, so.
No, I think I should start thinking of what I want to say to Rick Perry.
Yeah,
I think we-
sometimes it takes us a while to like
Yeah.
figure out like the right question. You can like, yeah, you gotta think through it the right way, or how is he gonna respond from this question, or he's gonna try and go that way. So, yeah, so it does take some time and effort.
There are some tips there, but I actually think we got those from CCI, so.
Resources. Yeah, because I was just gonna go on Thursday, remember, by myself, but I don't really want to do that. So I think planning in advance would get people excited. We have something on the calendar.
Well, we've got this calendar that Kevin brought up
Yeah.
that we try to keep as up to date as possible. I know we've got events out through May right now. I think so.
There's another big one. There's 9 candidates at it's a Lincoln dinner at the Iowa Event Center, like May 16th. It's the same. It's a Saturday. It's the same day as the Workers Summit in Ames. But yeah, it's like $100 a dinner plate. But there, I mean, everybody's there. You know, everybody's gonna be there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it does take planning and preparation for this stuff. So.
But to have your presence outside.
Yeah, I think that's. What
I mean, the last Jefferson Jackson dinner, you know, that was here. I actually just stood on a street corner holding a sign.
Mm-hmm.
And people, some did not even know what the heck was going on. Until I saw, you know, that's, you know, in one facility there's you know, I think it was a hockey game, but in another part of the convention complex was that Jefferson Jackson dinner. I said, you know, it's big money, it's a, you know, corporate influence. Yeah, they may be Democrats in name, but they're corporate elitists, you know, in action, and so yeah, they were surprised at what was going on. They didn't even know about it.
Nathan, like, what do you think you were planning on asking, or like framing the question? Or something?
I think I was like thinking along the lines of like Rick Perry. How can you claim to be concerned about the best interest of Iowans when you sit on the board of a company that's intending to threaten our? That's too long, but you know.
Kevin, you have some experience.
Yeah, it's hard to.
Upfront with that question.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, yeah, I'd have to, you know, kind of think about it, and then sometimes if you think about it too much, you know, you get caught up with it. That's why I got this guy along with me. You know, he's generally pretty good at kind of sorting things out. But yeah, or what kind of response do you want from him? Like, do you want a response from him, or do you want everybody to hear like something that he did, or like kind of?
I do want to know his
the
response. I think he'll probably just fall back on ETP talking points, like at the end of the day. But I'd be interested in. I don't know. Maybe he'll slip up. Maybe something good will come out of it. I don't know.
And even if you go with, or if you get some other people to go with you too, then you know they could ask follow-up questions, or they could like, you know, say something happens and you know you're asked to leave or whatever. Then you could have like people trying to ask questions as they're leaving or as he's leaving, and take a you know, picture with him or something.
I think for the most part, like most, it's already been a news story a few times that he is on the board. So yeah, no, that's a good question. What do I want to get out of it?
He was definitely on edge with me when
Yeah.
I asked him though. Like he was getting a little heated, and I was getting a little frustrated too. But you know, I was trying to keep cool. And,
Like, what was he saying then?
well, I've got the video of it, but I asked him about how can Americans trust your policy making when you sit on the board of directors for, and then you're pushing for corporate, your corporate influence. It's an example of governing under the influence, and then, with the Bakken pipeline, the oil pipeline's being trying to be
Energy
private.
Transfer Partners. is-
Right. So his first response was all about like creating jobs in Texas and in windmills and like power lines, and he was going like this too. Like,
That's so
talking
weird.
slow. It was a little weird.
He's
and
very
then-
animated.
yeah, talking slow because he's trying to like think of what he's gonna say. And then I was like, well, no, you're not answering my question about the corporate influence that's involved. And then he tried to flip it on me and saying that, oh, well, no, your question's about, do you trust the Iowa Utilities Board to make the right decisions for Iowans? I'm like, that's not my question. Like, I'm asking about your influence sitting on the board. So it's easy for him to try and steer things off, or for candidates to steer your question off in a different direction.
Or,
and
That's
try
just,
to remain on point, in that moment when,
isn't it a conflict of interest that you're on a board?
That's what I'm trying to think of ways to ask it that would circumvent his replies to what you just said. Where it's
Yeah.
like you lead on why the Bakken pipeline's bad, so that he can't talk about, or like it doesn't make sense for him to talk
So
about.
then what he, and then I told him again, that's not my question, it's not corporate influence. He's like, oh, I know what your question is, and frankly, I think it's irrelevant that he's sitting on the board of directors for a big energy company making decisions for people's interests. He thought it was irrelevant. And so, I can look back through the video, but, you could ask a question around, so he thinks it's irrelevant that he can sit on a board and, try and have this position of power, as president, how is that,
Yeah.
how does that play out?
That's what I'm sort of wondering, maybe if I just said the Bakken pipeline is all risk and no reward for Iowans, what will you do to stop it from being constructed? Or I don't know, a kind of out there question, but more, I don't know. I don't think he'd have a planned response to that question. That's what I want to get to, something that he wanted a planned response for.
Right, something to kind of catch him off guard,
Yeah.
but at the same time, just, not just scream at him and,
Yeah.
then, and then get kicked out, because then well, there's a crazy guy, just and just blow him off.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
We can also
think about it, too.
workshop one tomorrow. Should you go over and see what you think?
Yeah, it'd be cool.
So you want to do your thing, or just kind of,
I just figure we can have this conversation. Do a bigger one with CCI, hopefully.
yeah, because usually what we'll do is, when there's more people, do an exercise,
Yeah.
To show how, uncomfortable, to try and ask a question or just off the top of your head, and how it's it's role playing.
Yeah, we like
I'd
to
be
do is
the
have
candidate,
people
and he'd be there when asking me questions, and
pair
I'd try and
off, yeah.
respond, and then just practicing that interaction where he would come out and I give this whole governor's spiel or senator's spiel, just like everybody, all his candidates do, and then practicing staying on point and with these tough questions,
And
framing
then-
them the right way.
Yeah, we like to have people pair off too, and one person be someone attending an event, the other person be a reporter,
Yeah.
and work on kind of creating sound bites.
Because we do get people asking questions afterwards too, and to be ready to why are you here? What
Yeah.
what else is behind your story? So we're hoping to be the media's a good friend of the media, because we're asking real questions and not just the typical horse race. Who we think is winning or going to win, or who we're going to vote for. Regardless, there's too much money going on anyways.
They're all owned.
So any more questions, or?
I'm good.
Well, thank you for being our few people. But,
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, there's definitely a lot going on too.
Yeah. 30 this week.
Yeah. I know Martin O'Malley's doing one in Indianola, and then there's one he's doing for free in Beaverdale, so that can be one to go to. That one's at 7:30. Yeah, and then that energy thing, that's at 12.
Yep.
And then there's thing at the Airport Holiday Inn, that's at 1:30, 2 o'clock.
O'Malley and Webb are doing a fundraiser together on Friday night.
Friday night at the Union Hall here in Des Moines. And then Rand Paul is in Iowa City. Yeah, Donald Trump, he's in Indianola. And then he's doing trying to do like a press conference, like Q&A thing, like right as he gets off the airplane. I don't know, he's inviting, yeah, I don't know. Yeah. And then, Rick Santorum, that can be a good chance to talk to him too. He's doing a book signing. It's on like 86th Street.
Is that Beaverdale Books?
No, it's not. That's on Beaverdale.
No, 86th Street, that's farther west.
Yeah. And then he's out in West Des Moines at 5:30 doing a GOP Dallas County thing. They're doing several of those events every other month or something. And then at noon he's like at 801 Grand at the, not Chop House, but there's a Republican office that's there. And then I don't know what Rick Perry's doing. Is there? Yeah.
He's
and then-
doing the event with Young in Council Bluffs.
Oh yeah, that's right. Pizza King.
They just love going to the pizza ranch instead of.
It's
Yeah.
Pizza King, not
Pi-
Pizza Ranch. I thought I made the same mistake.
He's trying to be different. And then I know Jim
One of
Webb
them
will be
meetings,
around also. He's doing. There's like a couple different. He's in like Waterloo and Mason City.
Yeah, he's doing a lot of events in Eastern Iowa.
And then he's in. He's doing one in Thursday in Council Bluffs at the library, like at noon.
Has he been in Iowa prior to this?
He did like one event for Braley a while back, but that's it.
This is his first kind of big stint here. And then he's
It's a
meeting
really
with like
exciting event. Jim Webb and Bruce Braley.
Iowa Vietnamese Alliance or something.
Yeah.
A multicultural center somewhere. Yeah, craziness has begun. Cool. Well,
So Nathan, we'll shoot you some
That
dates
sounds good.
tomorrow. Any question maybe?
Yeah, that's good.
Or just
And then, yeah, that sounds good.
I remember back I was sitting in our one of our dining tent in the Occupy camp in the park, and I would hear the radio. Rick Santorum had radio ads saying that he wanted to he referenced radical Muslims, radical Islam, but to me, I think he wants to get rid of all Muslims. That's how bigoted I thought he was. That's how much I don't like Santorum, because he is that hateful of people who are not like him.
well, we're hoping to do something about that. Well, maybe we can help you out with some questions too. But yeah, thanks for coming out.
Sure thing.
Listening. And, yeah, I think that's all we got for now. And, yeah, we're looking forward to doing more things in the future.
With more
Yeah.
people.
If you know people around the state who are doing these sort of things, we're getting in touch with them as well. And, yeah.
Yeah, so if you
excited.
have anyone that would be interested, let us know.
Mhm.
Or connect us maybe.
Sure thing. Do you think you'll come out to the convergence then, the student power convergence?
Yeah,
Probably,
yeah.
Yeah. I'm wondering if there's a nearby presidential event at the time.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, probably.
No, if there is, because that obviously a lot of stuff this week, and then the next week it's kind of dead.
Yeah.
And then the week after that, towards the end of it, that's when Scott Walker and Curly Fearing,
I doubt that
the
you'll
Iowa
tell
the
anybody.
Freedom Faith Coalition, and Milwaukee, that's that really big one.
But I know that like 10 of these events just got announced one today.
Yeah.
So that could sort of change.
Right, right. but yeah, we gotta getting people ready to go out there and raise
Yeah.
those hands, ask questions.
Alright,
Cool. Well,
thanks
for
guys.
coming out.
For those that were just joining me, this was supposed to be a bird dog training, but only there were only 4 of us total, so it didn't amount to much. But hopefully there'll be more of these in the future that I can catch a bigger one. Basically, what bird dogging is following all the candidates to their events, and if they can pop some questions that they would not expect to have, or at least make an attempt to, if they can get in, and just keep after them and after them all over. So that's what this is supposed to be about. But next time one of these comes up that I can get to, I'll stream it. Other than that, that's pretty much it. I'm going to shut it down and go home.